Elden Ring was the first Souls game I ever played start to finish. The only other one I played was Dark Souls 3 back when I was about 17 years old and Gamefly was still poppin'. I was having such a cool, epic time, then I came across Eudex Gundyr, and all of a sudden I was no longer having such a cool and epic time. So I rage quit within 15 minutes and vowed to never play Dark Souls ever again. Thankfully, I grew up to be a pathological liar rather than a man of my word, and after struggling through Elden Ring for over 100 hours, not only did I find maidens, but I also found a quite frankly life-changing experience underneath all the blood, sweat, tears, and broken controllers that would turn out to be one of my favorite games of all time. Upon starting your game, you'll create a character which can be changed at any time, and you're given the option to pick through one of 10 starting classes. Each of these classes starts with their own unique gear, stat distribution, and levels, but thankfully, you're not shoehorned into one specific playstyle or build based on what class you pick. Classes really just serve as a blueprint, but do be warned that levels get progressively more expensive the higher you go, to the point where a single level is going to start costing literally hundreds of thousands of runes. If you are completely unsure of what you want to play, and you're indecisive like me to the point where you pick a new build every 2 goddamn hours, the Wretch is a great option, as it starts you off at level 1 with stats starting at 10 across the board. It does, however, come with a major drawback, being that you're basically a fucking Neanderthal with no clothing and a wooden club. Somebody get this guy on Discovery Channel ASAP, cause I'm naked and he's afraid. Once you've picked your starting class, you're immediately thrown into the action, where you'll be pitted against a grafted scion and most likely absolutely murked, which will then lead you to the actual start of the game, in which you can choose to play through a short tutorial or take the elevator and get straight into the action. At this point, you'll be told that you have no bitches, and then everything after that is pretty much just up to you. Elden Ring boasts a rather large map, coming in at 79 square kilometers, which is enough to fit 2 Skyrims and then some, in case you were wondering. In total, there are 13 main zones to explore, such as the mesmerizing Siofra River. The most amazing part is that every single zone is unique in its own way, offering you entirely new enemies, landmarks, dungeons, puzzles, and gear. And honestly, the game just gets better and better with each hour. When you walk out into Limgrave and see the Erd Tree for the first time, you're just gonna be like, wow, this is so fucking amazing. This is the peak of my entire life. And then, you'll explore even further with your trusty steed Torrent and stumble upon the hellish landscape and poisoned swamps of Caelid, where you'll be chased relentlessly by man-eating dogs. Each zone is truly an experience in its own right, with so many incredible set pieces and sights to behold. You can literally spend a dozen hours in each one, just exploring every single nook and cranny, slaying every boss and finding new pieces of gear, and it will never, ever get boring, because this game is so densely packed with high quality content that always feels fresh and exciting no matter where you are or what you're doing. Exploration is done so incredibly well, and it always feels rewarding no matter what type of player you are. Whether you want to 100% the game, or take your time and meticulously explore every single corner of the world, there's always something exciting to draw your attention, and you'll never feel alone, because although Elden Ring doesn't have an actual co-op mode outside of bosses, you can see other players ghost in real time, as well as messages and blood splatters scattered around the world. I mean, in terms of bosses alone, there are over 160 to fight, ranging from just simply beefed up monsters to some really fucking epic cinematic dragon fights. Granted, only 16 of these fights are main story bosses, but still, even just 16 mainline bosses is an insane number relative to about 99% of games. There's also tons of unique basic enemies to fight that will constantly keep you on your toes and humble you on more than one occasion. Trust me when I say that these bears are not of the caring variety. But if you ever need a break, you can head on over to a Site of Grace to replenish your health and magicka, as well as fully refill any flask you may have used, or even teleport over to the Round Table Hold, which serves as this game's main hub. Here you can upgrade gear, talk with NPCs, and potentially even get aids. If you enjoy what you're seeing so far, consider hitting that like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it's not like you have anything to lose besides your virginity anyway, so back to the video. Of course, to fight the hordes of enemies you'll be encountering, you're gonna need some pretty sick gear to get the job done. So thankfully, Elden Ring boasts hundreds of pieces of armor to find that not only look amazing across the board, but also will typically offer buffs for your passive abilities. Alongside this, you also have over 300 unique weapons to be found, with weapon classes ranging all the way from simple daggers to absolutely colossal hammers, all of which you can wield with 1 or 2 hands. And on top of that, each of these weapons can be equipped with an Ash of War, which not only gives your weapon a unique special attack, but it also alters the perk scaling of the weapon and its damage type. And for you magic users out there, well, you have access to over 170 unique spells that can be faith, arcane, or intelligence focused. And these range from simply bombarding your enemies with magic pebbles and calling down lightning to smite your foes, to summoning literal dragons out of your head to set the battlefield ablaze with fire. To put it lightly, the build potential in this game is a little bit insane, and alongside weapons, armor, ashes of war, and spells, you can also equip talismans to take your character to the next level by giving you more focused passive buffs to really hone in on any specific build, and you can use summons to serve as help if you ever find yourself struggling, as long as there's an active summoning effigy near your location. My only real complaint about this game is that quests are so ridiculously vague. You'll get a quest from somebody, and they'll be like, hey, come meet me in this grove at 9:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But what they don't tell you is that you actually need to take all your clothes off, insert your own finger into your ass, and quite literally f*** yourself with a constant rhythm of 43 beats per minute after killing a dragon and 2 trolls. But if you don't have exactly 15,385 runes in your inventory, you can go f*** yourself figuratively, because you've completely ruined the questline and you have to try again in New Game Plus. Overall, Elden Ring is one of the best games I've ever played, and objectively speaking, one of the greatest games ever made in general. It features an insanely detailed and expansive open world, incredible enemy design, and a ridiculously in-depth build crafting system. Buy this game immediately. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.